Jerome Powell, Jackson Hole, Nvidia, Bitcoin, and all the selling overnight. What matters most? Want to find out? You're in the right place. This is the morning market update. I am your host, Bill Noble, coming to you from the YouTube Shorts feed. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because you never know. We go live every morning on the Shorts feed and we go again at night, and they're short videos. So get it while it's hot. Subscribe to the channel. Now, everyone is going to tell you today that it's all about Jerome Powell. It's the biggest speech of his life. It's the greatest thing. The whole world hinges on whether he's going to be dovish or lower rates or whatever. Guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, no matter how much news you read, no matter how much blah, 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 blah there is, it doesn't matter. Here's how it's going to go. He'll say something. It'll probably lean towards, we'll look at the data. And, if the data is okay, we'll consider cutting rates. That's what he'll say. That probably won't be good enough for the market. It certainly won't be good enough for the orange man. But Powell does have a case to push back based on what's happening in other countries. And he probably will. So he'll probably be like conciliatory or sympathetic to people who are suffering from higher rates. But that doesn't mean he's going to give the stock market, the sugar that they want. No, that's not happening. Now, regardless of what happens, you will see a show between the king and the central bank. And that is effectively a clown show. So no matter what the market does, the market may be disappointed. I mean, you can see market makers leaning on the market. Very strange market. So does Powell matter? Yeah, for like 2 days. So Powell could go blah, 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 blah today. And then who knows? They may digest it and freak out Sunday night. Who knows? Who knows? I personally think they're going to ignore it, but you could have a legacy freak out in stocks, and we'll get to that. Now, as a reminder, here's what's really going on. So why is crypto down? You want to stay tuned throughout the video because I'm going to answer all your questions. Why is crypto down? Very simple. There are untold billions to buy. It's over for fiat. It's over for bonds. The ultimate buyers of stocks, retail investors who never met a dip that they didn't like, are actually selling. They're selling. I saw the statistics today. It's like, wow, retail is dumping it at the high. So how fake is it? The people who love the vapors are like, hey, we're out of here. So stonks, a major problem. Crypto is the only investable asset. This is a new term. Crypto is the only investable asset out there. So they have to buy market makers, broker dealers, big players, BlackRock, the people who sell to BlackRock. Remember, BlackRock doesn't just conjure things out of thin air. Now, right now, BlackRock is selling because dimwits are selling the ETF. But trust me, the Michael Saylors and all of these people, they have massive amounts to buy. I think Galaxy Digital may wind up being the biggest buyer of all. They sold $9 billion worth of Bitcoin, and the market has really barely moved. I bet they took some of that, honestly. So what do market makers do? They hit the market, hit the market, hit the market, hit the market. And now how do you know I'm right? Because as soon as New York goes home, the market levitates higher. Like, I like the coin personally. Don't get me wrong. But, I had this model that said, hey, maybe you want to take profits in AERO. Short term. There's no hate, no FUD. But if you watch AERO, it's incredible what happens overnight in the US, right? New York goes home. They stop sitting on altcoin perpetuals. They stop leaning on the market. And what happens? Everything levitates higher. Like AERO was up 10% 2 hours after New York went home. I'm like, wow, they really are pressing this stuff. And then you come in, we turn it on for the morning market update, and everything's down. Bitcoin's going to go through 112. Everyone's upset. They just carry on. Now, these market makers who are trying to push crypto down to trigger stocks, they have something helping them this morning. Yes, they do. Walmart's earnings are out. They were terrible. Target's earnings were out. They were terrible. Bed Bath & Beyond will only do business in California as a .com delivery service. No more stores. Retailers are imploding because, you know, the fact that there's been no job growth and probably sticky inflation and the grocery store is a nightmare is finally starting to show up somewhere. And, you know, tariffs are a funny thing. Everyone's like, oh my God, the tariffs are inflationary. Listen, inflation only occurs, prices only go higher if people pay them. If people look at the price of goods, or if people think the price of goods is going higher, they just go, I'm out. Not buying a computer, not going to Target. We're not going to buy Halloween costumes in August. We're out. That's it. And of course, there could be structural job problems or whatever. So this tariff thing may be having an effect on demand. So retail blowing up. Tech stocks, 6 days in a row down. Got a little bit of a problem going on in the land of Nvidia, do we? We have one tech giant renting processing power from another one. That's right. So Nvidia's units are being rented from one Magnificent Seven company to the other. $10 billion deal. I thought the demand for Nvidia's products was insatiable. I thought they couldn't sell enough. You mean somebody bought too many and had to rent it out? Kind of like an Airbnb for AI chip products? Oh, what's up with that? You know, somebody said something stupid about, you know, the Chinese doing business with Nvidia. The Chinese government got offended and called up Nvidia and said, we're not happy. I don't think we're going to do business with you, or we might not. And then someone notes aptly, what happens to the $500 billion market cap? The $500 billion added to Nvidia's market cap as a result of recent China good news that was unwound by that bad news. And you're like, wow, $500 billion, that's a lot of money. Yeah, that's almost the size of Ethereum. So Nvidia is so big that its fluctuations are bigger than just about every other cryptocurrency out there. And possibly a big fluctuation, like a 20 to 30% correction, is bigger than all of Web3. So they're having a little bit of a problem over there. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way and you're having your coffee and your bagel and you're wondering, gee, Bill, what does this have to do with crypto? Let me tell you something. This has everything to do with crypto. Central bank, an embarrassment. Bond markets all over the world, an embarrassment, right? People's houses being raided, the political arena, the culture war, all of this stuff that doesn't benefit anybody. It just continues to like accelerate. It's like mushrooms or dandelions growing on a field. Like every little mushroom that pops up, every little stupid thing they do might as well have a copy of the Bitcoin white paper attached to it. Everything you ever wanted about crypto, every case, everything you ever wanted to happen, right? Everybody wanted for years. Everybody wanted stocks to go down and crypto to go up. It was like the dream. Then they all started trading together. Okay. There was a little decoupling back at the tail end of the tariff tantrum. But what is the case for equities? There's none, and I won't bore you. What is the case for crypto? Well, it's epic. Now, how do I know that? Well, because they're trying to push everyone out. They're trying to blow everyone out, and they're doing it. They're doing it right now as we speak, and they may wind up doing it all day, and they may wind up doing it all weekend. Because if you have negative stock news, there's no way Powell is going to say anything. Like the equity market thinks Powell's going to cut rates every month for the rest of the year. In fact, in January of this year, they were expecting a Fed rate cut every single month for the entire year. So far, they've gotten nothing. They haven't even gotten dovish language yet. Nothing. So they may wake up to a shocking reality and crypto may be forced to go along. And the broker dealers absolutely love it in crypto, the over-the-counter desk, because I can tell you what I would do. I would just be like, oh my God, they're bearish in equities and everyone in crypto is getting nervous. Good. Whoosh. I would just smash it. And I know they're smashing it because every day in Asia, all these altcoins, they all go up because the short sellers cover and go home. And they're going to be like, okay, we'll get back at it tomorrow. London comes in, it starts going down again. They're going to do this every single day until they get what they want and they run all the stops. They're going to do it. Now, this is a glorious moment for you. Now, your bags probably stink. Guess what? Your bags have probably been no good for, I don't know, 6 months, a year, 2 years. What's a couple more days? It's a couple more days. Let them blow out stonks. Big Gann events coming up in September. Let them wash it all out. Let them wash it all out. Good. You know, and I think it would be a wonderful thing if all these things can transpire and crypto doesn't care, which is really what the talk is about today. The talk is about, you know, Jerome Powell, Nvidia, who cares? I'm serious. Who cares? This is not about, you know, wow, we're following NASDAQ. This is about legacy falling apart. Like you have other countries literally coming unglued. And you have Ripple tweeting this morning that the $300 billion stablecoin market is going to grow into the trillions. Now, we already know this. We already know this. But can you imagine the amount of capital that's coming into crypto and everyone is selling? Everyone's like, well, I'm not going to buy Bitcoin until it reclaims 116. I'm not going to touch it. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, you want to get involved when no one else will touch it. Because by the time everybody goes, oh, it's a reclaim, I'm going to jump back in. Oh, my God, it's 10% higher. I mean, the third largest pension fund in the U.S. now has $133 million worth of Bitcoin exposure by buying Michael Saylor's stock. It's a pension fund. What's a pension fund? Yeah, it's a gigantic entity that buys things and never sells them. So pension funds are buying MicroStrategy, which everyone's all wound up about because Michael Saylor had to sell some to pay interest on some of his securities for his company that he, you know, issues the securities to buy Bitcoin. The hedge funds are like, oh, I'm getting short. Oh my God, the stock is too expensive. My spreadsheet is beeping. Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, the pension funds are coming in and draining that stock out of the market. Let me spare you having to do perplexity. In the history of markets, pension funds versus hedge funds. 9 times out of 10, the hedge funds get short, the pension funds buy and never sell, and hedge funds get squeezed out. Especially when you have a company like Strategy that has a moat around their business, meaning no one in the private sector is ever going to be able to accumulate the amount of Bitcoin that he's got. Never. I mean, even if you had a giga crash, right, it would still be hard to get that much Bitcoin coming in. Really. You know, and if you look at the next 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, forget that. Let's try this. How about 3 months, 3 months, 12 months, 24 months? What are you going to invest in? Microsoft? Really? Right? Machines are going to use Microsoft. Hardly. And there's additional evidence, as I've discussed, that some of these companies are sort of overextended or overspending on you know, AI. I mean, they're after it for a reason. I get it. But crypto and AI are disruptive forces. And now everyone's all bearish at 112. You got to be kidding me. Everyone's negative on Solana. Wrong. XRP slits below $3. Wrong. Right? And our group in Patreon, we did it for Patreon, and we did it in the YouTube member area where, our Gann model and, our, I don't know, frankly, our clairvoyant analyst matched up with our model has got 3 coins set up for weekend purchases starting today. Like these are the right now coins. So everyone's all negative and everyone's wound up. Well, we'll just take it all. Thank you. Because I know there's company down here. I know they're standing down here. And whether they do it today, whether they do it Sunday night. Sunday night would actually be the perfect scare tactic, right? Everybody's at the beach. Everybody's trying to have fun. Powell says something stupid. And then these Asian markets open up Sunday night and there's some kind of event. Because, you don't have anything really good going on right now in Japan. You don't. It's a mess. Powell says the wrong thing. You're going to have a mess on Sunday night. Good. This is what crypto was made for. It was made for this moment, right? Where you have, it's like the behavior of central banks, the behavior of sovereigns, the behavior of bond markets, the hyper insanity, the hyper overvaluation in equities. People, this is what you play for. This is why you put up with all this annoying volatility and the FUD. It's easy to FUD the market down here. I tried to explain to people over like the last 3 or 4 days why something like this would happen, why Bitcoin might slump. We have our price target. It's pretty close. It's discouraging. You're coming in. You thought this thing was going to go to the moon last night. And guess what? Solana's down 1% as I'm talking. Right? So is Bitcoin. All the rallies are failing. Now, to talk some TA. I have this thing that when you have down markets, right? Because that's kind of what this is. It's like this is a correction, right? It's down 10% from the high. Bitcoin is anyway. When you have rallies during down markets, everyone's like, here we go. This is it. But if no one's willing to pay higher prices, you get failed rallies. And I always say, beware the failed rally. Every night, overnight, you've been getting these failed rallies. Now, let me give you some really good news. There's an argument for Sunday. There's also an argument that Powell opens his mouth, all the algos trade it today, and in anticipation of a problem on Sunday, all the New York people go home and they either sell or hedge or they dump everything today. So wouldn't it be funny if they wanted it, if it went down, if there was going to be one final heave, it would happen today. And of course, what I would really love is that if crypto just shakes the whole thing off. I've seen this before, where something negative happens. Everybody goes, oh my God, Powell said this. And oh my God, the stock market. And crypto's like, yeah, whatever. We already corrected 10%. Let us know when you guys are done. I would love that. Because I know crypto is going to give all this stuff to Bird, because that's why I know we have to play this game with like YouTube titles and thumbnails. And, this is just how the YouTube game works to get YouTube to move your stream. I couldn't go with the super bearish thing, even though that was popular today. I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Right. Bob M says Arthur Hayes does not want a rate cut. Exactly. Right? Because he wants these guys, he wants it to be a clown show. Because you know what the case is for no rate cut? The case for a rate cut, let's do it this way, is that housing is locked, housing can't function, and credit card and auto debt are crushing people. But one rate cut is not going to fix that. It's not. Okay? So if they cut rates, it could be an admission that something is wrong. Something is terribly wrong. Like if Powell turns around and goes, oh yeah, it's a great idea. Let's cut rates. After pushing back against the president, something is wrong in many ways. Now, of course, Arthur Hayes doesn't want the rate cut because he wants the clown show to continue, because he knows that that's how Bitcoin gets to his upside target. We have an upside target. they're somewhat similar. Of course, you should become a YouTube member and check it out, right? Because Toby is, even though Arthur Hayes is a super smart guy, Toby is smarter, and you should come check it out, right? Because if you like this, you're going to love that other stuff, because we give you the small coins, and this is the shopping zone, right? Felix says, all I know is crypto just goes down. And you know what, bro? You're right. Crypto has done nothing but go down. There was the Orange Man pump, which we all thought was the dawn of the new crypto. And there's been a disappointment trade going on 9 months. It's like a mini, it's like we had winter followed by, I don't know, we had winter followed by spring for 2 months and went back to winter. Now, I think what you're going to have is it's going to be like Texas. You're going to go from 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're going to wake up one day and it's going to be blazing hot. Not today, but there's the reason the stream is titled the way it is no matter what they do, what these clowns say, how they hit the market. I mean, I'm watching it right now. They just printed below 112. And boy, those short sellers, they are after you, and they want to make you so depressed, right? Now, Felix also said that this guy was cutting for the prior administration. He cut rates for the prior administration, no problem. Yeah. Which is also a reminder. Who was he cutting for? The administration or you? They're supposed to work for you. They're supposed to have a dual mandate for inflation and unemployment. Well, guess what? We don't know what they're doing on unemployment because we don't even know what the numbers are. I don't even think they know what the numbers are. I mean, they probably know there's no job growth outside the private sector. I mean, Twitter knows that, but nobody actually knows what the real numbers are. So if he wants to be obstinate, it's evidence that they're not working in your interest. Matter of fact, I would argue that every branch of our sovereign right now is owned by the deep state. All of them are owned by the deep state. And everything you see is just some sort of show. It's a show. It's a bad show, which is why Arthur Hayes doesn't want the rate cut. He wants the show to continue. Now, I don't want to over geek out on this, but if Powell all of a sudden turns dovish, that's bad. I'm telling you right now. I've seen this before. I saw it in 2007 when Greenspan cut rates out of nowhere in December of 2007. I remember looking around with all my friends at Goldman going, oh my God, this is terrible. And then sure enough, like 1 month later, some bank had a mortgage-backed, some obscure bank in Asia had a mortgage-backed security department go under. They wrote their securities down to zero, and then that was the beginning. So if Powell comes out and goes, oh yeah, let's cut rates, something is wrong. I don't think you're going to see that. And even if you do see that, I mean, this is like, it's bullish crypto no matter what, right? Like if there's a problem with stonks and a problem with bonds, crypto's going up. Crypto may go down initially, but crypto turns around and goes back up when the algos are done trading Powell. Period. If there really is something wrong out there, oh my God. I mean, you're never going to, it won't stop. Now, is that going to happen right this second? No. You know, a lot of people think, well, you're going to see 109. Okay. This stream is designed for something weird like 109. It's designed for something weird tonight or Sunday. I know this is easy to say, but so what? So what? Okay. Member question on AERO and Polkadot. Okay. So AERO, we put taking a lot of risk. AERO came out of one of our models as a tactical take profits. Now, what's actually happened in AERO is that really it's kind of rushed up, and every time it rushes up, it comes back down again. So somebody is taking profits in AERO. Should you buy the dip in AERO? Yes. You just haven't gotten it yet. Is there going to be one? I don't know. I don't know, but eventually you're going to want to own AERO and all of ETH DeFi. That's going to just explode. That's going to be insane. You're going to be running all of finance on ETH. I mean, Toby's been telling you that. We've been telling you that for months. And no one believed us, and everyone laughed. We had to, we just had to be quiet. Actually, we weren't quiet. We pounded the table when ETH went to 1396. So Polkadot, okay, so you're getting zero gratification out of owning Polkadot. I understand that. Polkadot was the #1 code reviewed company project at a company I used to work at. I'm sure they've overhauled it because of the price action. Polkadot was created by somebody who was involved with the creation of ETH, like Charles Hodgkins, the guy from Polkadot, and Vitalik were actually all together when ETH was created. Polkadot is designed to be this massive transaction throughput. It's like blockchains connected to blockchains. Like if someone wanted to run all of finance on crypto, they probably would not have to go past Ethereum, Polkadot, and Solana. You could put it all on those chains. Now, right now, Polkadot is dead. Polkadot is essentially like Chainlink. Polkadot is essentially money, as I understand it, that is used to buy Polkadot software. So no one wants Polkadot software, so the coin just sits there. But what happens when everyone wants Chainlink, ETH DeFi? This is happening. I mean, you can look up all the statistics and you can watch all the tweets about what's going on in country A, country B, country C. Okay, you can do all that. Or you could just think about what happens is if they have to move everything over to crypto. Michael Cush says 108K, it's over. Sir, at 108K, it's probably bordering on Christmas. Now, let's say it goes to 95K because you have an Nvidia problem. That's going to feel like it's over. No one's talking about that number. I haven't talked about that number yet because that's not our number from our Gann model. Don't talk about it being over. Again, this is why I didn't go with the bearish headline. This is like the pre-weekend pep talk. Everything that is occurring here is in the Bitcoin white paper. And of course, it's classic, right? Like, when does everyone trade the Bitcoin white paper? Oh, at 124 when it's going up. No. You trade the Bitcoin white paper when everyone's negative and everyone's depressed. It's not that people are negative. People are depressed. Like, it's called revulsion. No, the biggest rally you ever see are when people are like, oh, I can't touch this thing anymore. It's like nuclear. Like, just think about it. Bitcoin's down 10%. Everyone's like, oh my God, I can't touch it. It's nuclear. I don't want it. Like ETH at 1300, right? 1396. I don't want it. Don't do that. Don't. Matter of fact, now your brain may go there. I understand. Your brain may be like, like an insect. You're like, oh, I got to protect myself. This is terrible. Oh, I just want to like crawl into a ball. Don't. Like, your brain will do it, but then you want to hear my Jersey accent in the back of your mind going, wait a minute. Is this the dawn of everything we ever wanted? Are you going to get everything you ever wanted? Is it all set up for that, say, over the next 4 months? So if you've been holding crypto for a year, even if they're brutal and they stop you out and they try to force you out, don't. I mean, don't lose the rent money on meme coins, but you can tell with the brutality of this, they are trying to force you out and people are puking, right? Thoughts on XRP? Dude, I say this every day. Okay. Insiders sold it at 3. Everybody thinks it's over at 3. We had 280 something for a buy zone. I never thought I'd see that. Right now I'm looking at 279. Dude, honestly, in XRP, I think it's Christmas. Everybody keeps talking about crypto equities. There was a tweet out yesterday that like the Yeezy guys were saying that, you know, Yeezy was going to be its own like little monetary system. And the Litecoin guys retweeted. They just said, you know, that's BS. Interesting. Literally, that's what they said. Okay. XRP is a self-contained monetary system. And we have work here featured in the YouTube member podcast. And I hinted at some of it and got smacked for it. But we actually have one of XRP's like little cousins on like what I would call the tactical non-investment advice buy list. So everybody thinks XRP is done. XRP hasn't started yet because of this thing about an acquisition. Is it centralized? Yes. You could argue Bitcoin is centralized if you think about the amount of Bitcoin owned by Strategy and BlackRock. BlackRock has 3% of the supply. Now, I don't know how much of the supply like Garlinghouse and Ripple and all these guys are sitting on, but that's going to be a publicly traded company or it's going to get taken over by somebody massive. Because let me tell you something, Web 2 has screwed up by overspending on AI and underspending on crypto. And of course, they won't do it now. No, they're not going to buy XRP at $279. But I mean, when XRP is at $7, it'll be much more attractive. It'll be a must add to your portfolio. I mean, don't you remember at 124? I featured it on the show. Charles Schwab clients screaming for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Whoosh, right? At 124, it's awesome. At 112, I'm talking about 108. It's going to 95. Wait until you see it. Like if they hit this thing today, people are going to go crazy. CoinGecko, CoinDesk, love CoinDesk, but they're all going to be negative. They were all negative yesterday. That's okay. Let them be negative. I guarantee you 3 months from now, nobody will remember why they were negative today. Because are they going to hit it? Yeah, of course they're going to hit it. There's something wrong with stonks. Powell may not cooperate. And the algos are going to sell. And the humans are okay with that because they want to just hoover everything up. Will Bitcoin go to 80K today? No. No. Now, could Bitcoin wick? Maybe. Could you have a crazy wick to 105? I mean, I'm not putting that out there, but, you know, look, I can tell it's happening in the chat right now. Right. In other words, as the market goes down, people start changing the narrative to fit the red in their bags. The narrative starts changing. Don't change the narrative. The only thing that's changing here is price because everybody was betting on rate cuts or everybody, you know, people weren't acknowledging risks about what was going on in other bond markets or with Nvidia or this hyper overvalued stock market. Also, don't forget, and I've been saying this, you have very illiquid conditions. London and New York is gone. And London doesn't, Europeans don't work in August. And New York is definitely gone. They're at the beach. They're out. So I don't know where they're going to get the liquidity if somebody comes in and tries to hit this. That's why you could get a wick. Because if somebody big comes in and tries to wreck the market, there's no one here to take it from them. But again, if you had any money, which is why we publish buys and sells. On our Patreon Platinum, we publish the buy list and the sell list. So this month, we say buy this, sell that. Not investment advice, but, you know, rotating out of, you know, crypto A can give you money to buy crypto B. And of course, they want to smack it. So again, you know, Bob M, normies are idiots. Charlie, the positive cat from the antivirus privacy universe. By the way, I saw something that the Justice Department is not going to prosecute people who make privacy coins or privacy products as long as they're good guys and they're not making it for bad purposes, which is great for the John McAfee $3 million market cap coin antivirus, which me and Charlie the positive cat are into. Okay. Live It wants a blue hat coin. You know, I gotta be careful with this, but I will say this about Yeezy coin. I think it's very weird that I got, like, you can't find that guy anywhere. Can't find that guy anywhere, but I got the tweet. I saw it. I was like, wow, this popped up on my feed. Amazing. No, they're going to do like a meme coin all the way up, all the way down thing. Did he need the money? Was that necessary? I always said way back in the day that if they ever did that, that would undermine confidence in the market. I mean, I can't believe he signed on for that. I hate to say this, but that feels like some kind of PsyOp to me. Like, why would he agree to that now? Like, wouldn't you want to issue that on the way up? Why would you release it? I mean, the Orange Man did his meme coin when everybody was like, oh, I mean, he hit everybody at the top. Why would he come out with that in the middle of a down market? It's so weird. Anyway, it's weird. Okay, it's weird. Someone wants the normies to stay away from crypto. They want to be, oh, yeah, that guy issued a meme coin. Oh, crypto's terrible. Don't you get what's happening here? They're trying to get you off of this, right? That's it, right? It's not, it's beyond don't sell your crypto to BlackRock. Although, like I said, everybody was saying that 3 days ago, and I had some cringe. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a great rally cry, but that also means it could go lower, which it did. Guys made fun of me for that. Look, we laid out the negative case. Now that we laid out the negative case 3 days ago, we came up with the buy list. And I'm telling you, if they hit this thing, it's there for the taking. And we have one of our new favorite people. Guess who? Chickaboo is here. Good morning. Good morning to all of our YouTube members, right? Live It 351 refers to BlackRock as Black Rot. I'm going to tell you something funny. You want to hear something funny? You want to hear your morning humor? Let me ask you this. What's the biggest case for XRP? It's that BlackRock doesn't want the XRP ETF. They don't want one. Why? Well, probably because they can't control it, or they're afraid Ripple's going to get acquired. Now, it could also be because XRP is centralized, but wouldn't it be funny if somehow Ripple gets acquired or XRP moves, and then they have to put it into an ETF after it moves? But XRP is not going to be immune from whatever's going on here. I mean, Monero, the ultimate privacy coin, was 51% attacked. Now, if you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. But that's the way you hurt a decentralized cryptocurrency. It's very expensive to do it. And they did it to Monero. So there's all kinds of PsyOps going on in the market. So, this guy from Tornado Cash gets convicted. He wrote some code and they said he was a money transmitter. Whatever. Then they 51% attack Monero. Then this pop culture character does a meme coin at the bottom of a 10% correction. I mean, can they do any more to get you out other than like just bleed this market red? Like they're just hosing everybody. And the thing that's funny is equities aren't even down. Equities are not, everyone's like, oh yeah, everything's great in equities, driving you even more crazy, driving you out of your mind. So first of all, don't panic. I know that's hard. A guy named Stan Druckerman used to say, every time I own something and it goes down, I want to sell automatically. And I have to remind myself, why am I here? So if you've done a good trade, if you've done a trade and hasn't gone your way, but you still remember why you liked it, keep it. Okay. If you need new trades, we have them in the YouTube member area and Patreon. The links are down below. If they scare you out of your wits today or Sunday, my answer is the bird. I am not going to get negative crypto. I don't care if ETH prints 3,800 because they may rock the boat. this is your opportunity, right? When ETH was going to 5,000, everyone's like, oh my God, I would love a dip. Okay, here it is. Bitcoin at 124, I was like, oh my God, it's just going to 200. Everybody who thinks it's going to 200 gets negative at 112. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. So if you've heard this, thank you for listening. If you have a plan, great. If you need one, check ours out. And if you don't have any of those, you have a pep talk. Do not let them psychologically force you out of this market. Because the dawn of everything you ever wanted, this includes all the sectors, all the altcoins, Bitcoin, XRP, Solana, all of it is here. We just have to wait for the legacy embarrassing gymnastics to occur, for the algorithms and the computers to trade that before the humans can go, okay, now what do we really want to do? And I can tell you what the answer to that is going to be. It's just a question of the level. That's all. So that is the market update for this morning. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button on the way out.